Combs so it can be delivered during the freak-offs. And even Brendan Paul even said that on one occasion, Sean Combs had him try out some narcotics, and just giving him the narcotics to try out is sufficient to meet that count.
Rena, what can you tell us about the reaction in the courtroom?
Well, Diane, we know that it has been very tense in that courtroom. It has been emotional. Combs yesterday, when there was a partial verdict, we saw him wiping tears from his eyes. He was slumped over in his chair. He was hugging his attorneys. Just a short time ago, a couple of minutes ago, we saw his family arrive back at the courthouse here. They have been here really every single day of this trial. Now, we are told that Combs was in the courtroom this morning for about 30 minutes. He was mostly reading a book, jotting down notes, and he spent most of the deliberations in a separate location. We are told, though, that everyone is making their way back to the courtroom. Lawyers from both sides, prosecutors are filling the front row of the courtroom. The judge and the jury are not inside at this point. Before this morning, though, Combs shared a moment with his family. He bowed his head. He led them in prayer. He said, "Bless this jury, bless my family." He told them to stay strong. They locked hands and they prayed. And he also hugged his defense attorney, Brian Steele, before heading to that separate location where he has been for most of these deliberations. So this is clearly a big moment. He's about to learn his fate that these 12 New Yorkers have decided for him.
Bernardo, one of the things the jury asked for in one of their several notes was to look again at Cassie's testimony about that 2016 hotel attack. That was the video of the attack was caught on surveillance of Sean Combs assaulting her, kicking her, dragging her through a hallway. And they were asking to see the testimony where she testified that she had was trying to escape one of those freak-offs when he beat her and dragged her back into that hotel room. Do you read the tea leaves there, or what does that tell you in general, that they wanted to see that testimony again? And how critical do you think that event and that video was in this case?
Let's be clear, Diane, but for that Intercontinental video, we wouldn't be here today. I can honestly say, having been a prosecutor for 16
I have to interrupt
years.
you. We're going to a special report with the network. Let's listen to Kira Phillips.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips. We're coming on the air because the jury has now reached a full verdict in the racketeering and sex trafficking trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Jurors had the court scrambling yesterday, you may remember, when they sent a note to the judge saying they had reached a partial verdict on 4 of the 5 counts, but they were stuck on the remaining racketeering conspiracy charge. The judge telling them to keep an open mind. Well, deliberation resumed this morning for a third day. The Combs trial has been going on for nearly 2 months. As you know, graphic testimony, disturbing sexually explicit images. And during yesterday's deliberations, the jury asked for a transcript of ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura's testimony about the 2016 hotel attack that you're seeing here on your screen that was captured on surveillance video in that hotel. That video showing Combs kicking and dragging Cassie in a hallway. Cassie testified she was trying to escape one of those so-called freak-offs when Combs beat her and dragged her back into the room. The jury made up of 8 men and 4 women. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Let's get right to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky. He is outside the courthouse there in Lower Manhattan. Aaron, I understand now that Sean Combs has entered the courtroom.
Sean Combs is now seated at the defense table, Kira, with his attorneys. Judge Arun Subramanian has just taken the bench, instructing everyone in the courtroom to maintain decorum when the verdict is reached. It comes after about 14 hours of deliberations over 3 days, and it comes after the jury became stuck on the top charge of racketeering conspiracy, saying they had reached a unanimous verdict on 4 of 5 counts, sex trafficking and transportation for the purposes of prostitution, but had become stuck when it came to the racketeering conspiracy charge. And it's a complicated charge because it required the jury to believe that Combs, if they were to convict, was the leader of a criminal enterprise who relied on his assistants and bodyguards and other employees to commit crimes with him. And there were 8 to choose from the jury would have to find that Combs agreed to commit at least 2 of those 8 so-called predicate acts. But the judge at the time did not take a partial verdict. He instructed the jury to go back at it. It was too soon to give up. And here now, on the 3rd day of deliberations, after about 14 hours, Kira, the jury has reached a verdict.
And Aaron, I understand that, as I'm being told now, the jury is entering the courtroom. Give us a little bit of color from early this morning. Apparently, Sean Combs was allowed a moment with his family. They prayed together. Tell us about that, Aaron.
This was not the first time that Sean Combs has prayed in the courtroom. The judge was not on the bench. He asked the marshals for permission to speak with his family. There's an entire row in the gallery, the 2nd row of the gallery reserved for Combs' family members, his mother, twin daughters and sons, all there, other family members in the courtroom as well. And he asked them to hold hands, bow their heads, and pray. And that's when Sean Combs asked for blessings for his family and also for the jury. That jury is now entering the courtroom, Kira.
And I'm told the jury is seated now. Brian Buckmeyer, our legal contributor, I want to bring you in on this. I'm going to have you comment on that in just a second. But let's talk about the RICO charge, the toughest charge here, but would bring the strongest penalty, right?
In a sense, yes. So the racketeering conspiracy, it does have a possibility of a life sentence. The reason why I say in a sense is because the sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, that sentencing guideline has a minimum of 15 years to life. So life is a possibility whether or not RICO is met. But I think with the RICO, there's an added issue as well as to automatic forfeiture, because when you are convicted of a RICO conspiracy, the government isn't just looking to incarcerate an individual who participates or, in this case, is allegedly the head of that racketeering conspiracy, but also to dismantle that conspiracy or that RICO from a financial standpoint. So all the stuff we heard about Sean Combs' homes and his enterprise and the bank accounts that were used for the sex trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution, if convicted of racketeering conspiracy, that can also be dismantled or taken by the federal government.
And Brian, talk about some of the charges that were dropped. Is it being read right now? Okay, let's go right into the courtroom. Okay, all right. It is being read right now, I am told. Aaron, let's take it back to you as we are now hearing from the judge inside the courtroom.
So the jury, Kira, had to fill out this form, which lists the charges, proven, not proven, the predicate crimes, and whether Sean Combs is not guilty or guilty. On count 1, the racketeering conspiracy charge, Sean Combs has been found not guilty of racketeering conspiracy, perhaps the most complicated charge for the jury to understand. The count 1 had provided for a number of predicate acts, but the jury does not have to get into that because they have found Sean Combs not guilty of leading a criminal enterprise, not guilty of racketeering conspiracy. They will now move to the other 4 counts, 2 of them on sex trafficking and on and we have not guilty now on count 2, which was sex trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. Sean Combs has been found not guilty of sex trafficking when it comes to his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. There was a real debate that the jury heard over the course of the last 2 months about consent and coercion and the complications of deciding when an 11-year relationship between Combs and Cassie Ventura may have become a criminal one. And the jury decided it was not criminal sex trafficking when Sean Combs committed what his attorneys freely admitted was domestic abuse, as you saw in that video. He has been found not guilty now on racketeering conspiracy, not guilty on sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura. He has been found guilty on count 3, transportation for the purposes of prostitution. He has also been found guilty on count 5, transportation for the purposes of prostitution. These charges carry a maximum penalty of up to 10 years in prison, so we do have a split verdict. Sean Combs has been found not guilty of racketeering conspiracy, not guilty of sex trafficking Cassandra Ventura, but he has been found guilty on 2 counts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution. And we're waiting for one more count, the sex trafficking of Jane. And just now, the jury has decided that Sean Combs is not guilty of sex trafficking his former girlfriend who testified under the pseudonym Jane. So the jury has now believed that the relationships that Sean Combs had with his former girlfriends, Cassie Ventura and a woman who testified under the pseudonym Jane, were not criminal, did not involve sex trafficking. All Sean Combs has been convicted of here is transportation for the purposes of prostitution. And Kira, those did seem to be the most evident crimes that Sean Combs committed. We heard testimony from the male escorts. The jury heard about the cash that they were paid, and as prosecutors told them, they were not in those hotel rooms for scintillating conversation. Sean Combs guilty of transportation for the purposes of prostitution, not guilty of racketeering conspiracy, not guilty of sex trafficking. Kira?
All right. Let's put this in perspective now that we know where Sean Combs has been found guilty and non-guilty. Let's put it into perspective, Brian, on time he will serve. What are we looking at now with regard to years? Of course, we should point out there will be an appeal. He's got plenty of money to do that. But let's take it from where it stands right now.
Kira, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. I'm not even sure if I would say there would be an appeal, because for Sean Combs and his defense team, this is a massive win. 3 of the counts that had a life sentence possibility are gone. When it comes to transportation to engage in prostitution, the minimum is nothing. There's a theoretical possibility that he walks out on probation. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, but the max is 10 years. Even if you were to take both sentences, and he's not going to get 10 years, they're going to look at his criminal history, mitigating circumstances, aggravating circumstances, and I would assume that he gets somewhere in the middle ground, maybe like 3 to 5 years, 3 to 6 years, possible through that sentencing range for each count. Sean Combs going to trial where he was facing life and being able to walk out with something under 10 years, well under 10 years possibly, that is a victory. Will he appeal? Sure, that's his right to do so, but I don't see an appeal here. I think you take this as a win, you serve the few years that you may get, and you be happy that you didn't get life. I'm somewhat shocked as to the trafficking for Cassie. I thought that might have been a stronger case for the government. I didn't think that they had the RICO, and I definitely didn't think they had the Jane trafficking, but this is, I think in only so many words, and I keep saying it, I think this is a positive result for Sean Combs and his team.
I'm being told now Combs is hugging his lawyer at this very moment. Clearly, he's seeing it as you are seeing it as well.
Brian Steele, the new Teflon Don, nigga.
We should point out, Brian, let's look at bigger picture here. He is a music producer. He created a brand around himself. He was a big part of bringing hip hop into the mainstream. There is an entire entertainment business side to this. How do you see, from your experience, this win, as you are saying, for Sean Combs? How will it impact his business empire?
I think, for lack of a better term, there was always going to be a blemish on Sean Combs' career. I think people are going to look at this in 2 different ways. In one way, they're going to say that Sean Combs probably had a history of getting into trouble with the law and somehow getting out from underneath it. They're going to look at past events through both civil and criminal complaints and say, you know what, he's always had good lawyers or whatever it may be, and he's gotten away with bad charges, especially looking at that Intercontinental video. But I think the other view of this is going to be is that he was tried by a jury of his peers. All of the information, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything in between was shown to these 12 people, and they did not see the criminal enterprise. They did not see the force, fraud, and coercion. And I think the trafficking to engage in prostitution, I think that's going to be a lighter blemish on his career in terms of the totality of what we saw, as to like, okay, so he paid for people to go across state lines to have consensual sex. And I think consensual sex will be a big part of the conversation based on how the verdict came out. And so Do I think he takes a big knock in terms of this case? Yes, but we've seen Sean Combs rebrand and come back from a lot of things, and that is a possibility here.
But let's put it into the context, Aaron Katersky, of the Me Too movement. I don't think anybody can forget the video, the surveillance video that we saw over and over again in that hotel hallway of Sean Combs barely naked in a towel, kicking and dragging Cassie Ventura.
It's an unforgettable piece of video, and it was one of the most visceral pieces of evidence that the jury saw during the course of a nearly 2-month trial, Kira. And the defense freely admitted what's depicted on it is domestic violence, but they said all along he's not charged with domestic violence. The defense insisted, even though the defense did not put on much of a case, called no witnesses, that what was depicted was not sex trafficking, and the jury seems to have agreed. And Sean Combs is clearly taking this outcome of a split verdict, guilty on only the transportation for the purposes of prostitution charges, as a win.
Good chance
The
of
jury has been
rebranding himself,
excused as the
showing all
8
this
men and
shit
4 women
after he just
stood to
won.
leave their seats. Sean Combs made praying hands in their direction and bowed his head slightly as if to say thank you. When the outcome was read aloud in court, Combs put his hands in the air and looked to the ceiling, clearly taking this as a win that he was acquitted on the most serious charges he faced, Kira.
And now I understand, Aaron, his attorneys are calling for him to actually be released today. Could that happen?
Well, it could happen because he has already served about a year's time, a little shy of a year, and there will be a sentencing date. What the defense is likely arguing is that he is now no longer has anything to do with a violent crime. Transportation for the purposes of prostitution carries a maximum sentence of 10 years, a minimum of nothing. So it will be up to the judge to decide. But where he is no longer accused of a violent crime, the defense may have a good case to get him released until he is formally sentenced. If that happens, it's possible he could walk right out the golden doors here. Certainly a number of his supporters and others are waiting. Members of his family were certainly elated. They were not allowed to show any emotion, but they are remaining in the courtroom to see what happens, what the judge ultimately decides, Kira.
Brian, your thoughts on the fact that he could be released today?
So at the beginning of this case, when Sean Combs was charged with sex trafficking, that is a charge that has the
big homie. You can hear me, Woke?
I hear you now.
Okay. What they do with you? You see they done got the dilly up out of there, huh? Dilly, flea.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy how they use certain charges to still keep the man behind the wall. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like yesterday with the bail, they denied him bail.
Yeah, and the crazy thing, y'all done got some money. Like, y'all done got some money out of him. Obviously gonna get some more out of him, so he can eventually bring his ass home until he gets sentenced. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
at this point, but that Brian Steele shit, that's Teflon Don right now, bro. That's
hey,
Timothy right now.
listen,
That
hey,
cat they
listen,
getting that cracker blank checks
yo,
from now on.
buddy, yo, he going, man, listen, he gonna be the most requested motherfucker in the world.
Yeah, bro. They gonna start handing him blank checks. Get me right.
Yeah, yo, get me
Nigga
off,
ain't had to say
get me
nothing or
off
nothing.
the Rico. Get me off the Rico, my nigga. That's what's you know what I'm saying? And he's solid,
Yeah.
right?
Hey,
Like
hey, bro,
the
for him.
motherfucker. Two in a row,
Yeah.
right? Two Ricos in a row.
And two bruhs too. One a real
Yeah,
gang leader, public gang leader. One
right.
womanizer, you know what I'm saying? Woman beater in public, admitted drug abuser, like all of that, bro. He still came through and slapped the state and the feds all in their motherfucking mouth. I wonder how
Well, the
them them hallways be, bro, after somebody like that slide through and get that done and shit. What them circles
well,
be like?
personally, the Fed Rico was a stretch,
Facts.
right? That was a stretch. They lost, which is a nigga had enough money to go to war with the feds. That's one.
Facts.
You know they was confident when they didn't even call a single witness. What
Yeah.
what motherfucker beats a Rico and not one witness is called, bro?
That's a bad ass. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. When we say cracker sometime, bro, we mean it affectionately like when we say nigga. So that's a badass cracker right there. Brian Steele
Yeah,
is a badass cracker. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
yeah,
Fuck the dumb
yeah.
shit.
And for him again, for him to stand on business and the young thug shit, like yo, lock me up, like sit me next to thug, solid. You know what I'm
You think
saying?
he got?
Solid.
You think he got more? I mean, with who he is, I don't really know his background. We probably got to do a segment on that, get a little deeper
Yeah,
in the Brian Steele.
get him a little
But
deep
what
dive.
what his political ambitions is and shit. Like, do we see himself running for office, some shit like that? Like, do we got like a
Man,
bigger
I
agenda
don't
than
I don't I don't think he's
making
right
money?
now. Right now, he's just gonna sit there and get that money off of motherfuckers hiring.
What
Yo,
he in his 40s or 50s?
I don't know, bro. I didn't hear about him until Thug, so I don't know much on him.
Yeah,
Right?
I've been
I'm gonna
hearing
have
the
to look
name.
him up myself. What
Well,
I
you probably
will
could see, you
say,
probably could say like on the, doing what you do. That name
yeah,
probably done
and I'm
resonated with
probably
some of
been
that shit.
around.
So
Yeah, yeah, you
yeah,
might be
so you
right.
probably
He,
can get you some first account
yo,
knowledge of a
you know
buddy.
what you know what his nickname about to be?
So
Fucking White Cochran.
White Cochran, Teflon Don,
I'm about
nigga,
to start. You heard it
Teflon,
here first. White Cochran.
White Cochran, bitch. But hey,
Yo,
yeah. Hey, you getting a real step because nigga, this is black man is God, nigga. Eminem ain't got no Nick, no, nigga. If Lap said it, nigga, you him.
yeah, White Cochran, man. Hey, listen. And again, he's solid. He stood on business with Thugger, right? He stood on business with Thugger. And
You better know it.
I've never heard in the history of a case, man, where a witness was never caught by the defense, right? Usually as defense witnesses and the defendant don't testify. They did none of it.
And didn't
None
let
of
Diddy
it.
talk. Diddy ain't had to talk or nothing, bro. Diddy ain't had to even
He
talk.
had
Diddy, like, you know what I'm saying? That's the crazy shit for me, nigga. Diddy ain't had to get up there and plead. Like, the crack ain't had to go to Diddy and, like,
ain't had to
well, you
do
gonna have to put
nothing.
on. You gonna have to put
Yeah.
on, Diddy. He ain't had to go to do nothing, bro. He had to tell him was, hey, sit back and let me do what I do. This ain't shit.
And you know what the you know what's bullshit and disturbing at the same time uh is that every witness said they never dealt with Puff. They dealt with Cassie,
Yep.
right? Every single person they brought in. So why is she home free, sitting on 30 M's, and and she's one of the ones that wrote a letter to the judge like, yo, don't let him out. I heard.
Don't let him out. That's hey.
or
bruh,
don't give him a
the whole
bail.
and the thing is, Puffy ain't have to point at nobody. Puffy
He
ain't
didn't.
have to say, "Hey, I'm expose you." Puffy ain't have to do none of that.
He stood tall.
That's
He stood
crazy,
tall.
nigga. Come on, bro. Like,
I,
man, this shit
that
crazy.
that
Again, guilty
listen,
in the public court of opinion
in
as
the
far as
public's
morals is
opinion, yeah.
concerned. You's a dirty motherfucker when it comes to how you party.
It's
But
it's
if that
proof.
ain't no
Well, the
crime, man,
partying, I
like,
don't care. You. It's proven that you was whooping ass, right?
yeah,
It was
exactly.
proven that you was whooping ass. Okay, right? Um, but again, a man's sexuality should never be on track. Whatever he do, I
At
don't give a
all.
fuck what a nigga do, right?
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck what a man do. Like his sexuality should have never been on trial. That's what they made it. The
Yep.
state, the feds fucked up because there was never a domestic violence charge in there.
Yeah. And then it was, bro, when they just started like random punks and shit just coming out of nowhere, excuse my term.
Uh-huh.
But random, just dudes getting caught for other stuff, bro. They taking they statements and trying to make it relevant to what's going on now.
Was
Like they caught
right.
this dude for a murder or something like that, and like just because he was one of the cats that apparently slept with Diddy, or he said it, they like literally took that and started talking about it around the trial, bro. Like it was crazy. So for bro to not
Yeah.
even have to say a word, you know what I'm saying, and then for that, that cat to step in and be like, hold on, bro, they ain't got shit. He probably
Yeah,
showed up
man
at
got a
at
fucking
Diddy
thing.
suite in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Diddy probably looking
But it's
like
one of them
Abdullah in that bitch. Nigga, Diddy probably had a little suite up in that bitch. My nigga, little flat screen, all kind of shit. Man, I wish they show us a picture of Diddy like cell set up, bruh. Diddy probably was digitized in that bitch. Nigga, phones. Man, Diddy had it lit like in that bitch.
yeah. But they
So
try to yo, did you see yesterday the reasons why they was denying him bail?
nah,
Why they denied him? So one of the things were, oh, they denied him bail because he was using other people's phone time and he was making like he was intimidating. Where the feds record every single phone call, show proof where
exactly.
somebody
That's the
was
dumbest.
because if somebody was intimidated, that shit would have came up during the trial.
That's the
We
dumbest
know
shit.
that.
That's the dumbest shit they could ever try to. Again, like they be
Um,
putting the
he got
most.
influence. He did this. He does. Yo, that man. Y'all didn't have a case. This is why. Out of so remember all the charges initially. They had to drop. They dropped 90% of the charges. Remember, they dropped before the jury went into deliberation. Like 90% of the charges or some shit was dropped. These was the five. These was the five left. Um, so the big three they got rid of. The only two, the transportation for prostitution. The only thing that'll jam him up is if they run that shit consecutively and not concurrent,
Yeah,
right? But do
but
you?
at this point,
I
buddy got the heavy lifting done, my nigga. So them little things,
I'm
I'm thinking like they kind of small potatoes, and I ain't talking about like you. I'm talking about just those things to the steel dude, cause uh uh White Cochran, like I'm thinking that's gonna be like easy shit for him. Like, hey, boy, ain't
yeah.
nah, we ain't finna do that shit. No, man, we finna let
So
this man come home
they
for a little bit.
because he allegedly he gets sentenced in October, I think, right? But the
Yeah.
shit he got convicted of, the man, it's called the Mann Act. The
Mm-hmm.
Mann Act, uh, uh, this shit is crazy. The Mann Act, officially known as the White Slave Traffic Act, is a United States federal law passed in 1910, right? It prohibits the transportation of individuals across state lines or international borders for prostitution or other immoral purposes. The act has been used to prosecute a wide range of activities from human trafficking for forced prostitution to consensual sexual activity. Though it
In
has
other
been
words,
though it has been amended, though it has been amended to clarify its focus on prostitution and other illegal sexual acts.
and that's like in the privacy of your own home. That's like after somebody report that you did somebody reported that he was doing that. Like again,
Bro,
this is like, all grown people that know who Diddy is, that wanted to get paid, is around that, bro. Like
how is like what I don't get is a
the only thing
consensual.
I hate the nigga for, bro, is just that the nigga beating the women, bro. Like you
Right,
beat the
right.
women, that you wrong, kid. Like that's it. But other than that, bro, all the sex stuff, bro, that that all these people could not wait to get them phone calls, bro, and they know what them phone calls was about every time.
Every single time.
It done been years and years of this, brother.
Hmm.
And ain't not one time you buck that shit, or one time you just, hey, no, he gonna cut me off. Okay, you cut me off. But if you weren't smart enough to save no money on your own, you gonna be right back over there, you know what I'm saying, doing that.
Right.
Let me get some more of this Diddy-ness in real quick. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So we could bounce off of these boys. They adding they
All
little
right.
things to it.
About the impact all of this will have on ongoing civil cases.
Yes, so you have to think, so even though he was acquitted of the most serious charge in this criminal case, when we're talking about a civil case, it's a different burden. The criminal case is beyond a reasonable doubt. When you're dealing with civil cases,
Wait till now.
is by preponderance of the evidence, 51% versus 49%. But then again, with a civil case, he's just
Motherfucker, wait till now to start doing this sucker shit.
at risk of losing his empire in terms of money, but his liberty is no longer at stake. So he can live to fight those cases outside of jail bars.
You bring up a good point, because if he would have been found guilty of racketeering, that could have forced him to forfeit all his businesses, right?
Absolutely. So if he would have been found guilty of racketeering, conspiracy, and of the sex trafficking, anything that was used in order to facilitate this crime. So, for example, his mansions in Florida and his mansion in Los Angeles would have been at risk that it would have been taken away from the government, since there was evidence that was put forth having to deal with that some of the sex trafficking took place inside of those homes. So he would have been at risk of losing that, and also a lot of his businesses and his money.
In his closing argument, one of Combs' defense attorneys asked jurors to summon the courage to acquit Combs, who conceded he could be violent, jealous, and a drug user, but whose lawyers argued the case is badly exaggerated to make Combs like something he is not. Do you think that's what happened, Brian Buckmeyer?
I think, I don't know. This one I'm still trying to wrap my mind around, and I apologize. I'm trying to get information from different people as I go about this, trying to get information from people inside the court. I think, let me try to put it into words. I think when it comes to this case, this might have been more about how the case was handled than the actual people who testified. I could see how this might be an indictment on the women who testified, and I would say, as someone who watched them, I don't think it should be. I think, if anything, this is about how the case was handled by the government in terms of how they argued it, how they presented it, and the people that were selected. People being selected being the jurors, not the team themselves. And so I think as we move forward with this case and we see what's going to happen, because there is a possibility, although small, that Sean Combs walks out today, I think we just take stock of what we heard, what was argued, and what the result was, and not lay this at the feet of anyone who testified.
And now I understand, Aaron, a statement has been given on behalf of Cassie Ventura, star witness in this case. What are you learning?
Uh-oh, let's see what.
Her attorney, Doug Wigdor, just sent us the following statement. This entire criminal process started when our client, Cassie Ventura, had the courage to file her civil complaint in November 2023. And Kira, we should say that's true. The criminal investigation is largely based on the statements in Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, and intensified, of course, once video from the 2016 hotel security camera became public. The statement from Doug Wigdor, her attorney, goes on to say, although the jury did not find Combs guilty of sex trafficking Cassie beyond a reasonable doubt, she paved the way for a jury to find him guilty of transportation.
Damn. She wanted to be a Puff Daddy takedown trailblazer. But again, man, she was a victim.
To engage in prostitution. By coming forward with her experience, Cassie's attorney, Doug Wigdor, goes on to say, Cassie has left an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and the fight for justice. We must repeat with no reservation that we believe and support our client, who showed exemplary courage throughout this trial. She testified for 4 days, often quite emotionally so, giving graphic, explicit detail of what she said she was made to do. And Sean Combs did not deny the facts of the freak-offs. Everything that happened in those hotel rooms did not get challenged by the defense. The defense simply saw it differently, as something that went on in a personal, consensual relationship, not sex trafficking. And that's how the outcome is reflected now, Kira.
Bernardo, I want to go on to read another part of that statement on behalf of Cassie Ventura's attorney, saying she displayed unquestionable strength and brought attention to the realities of powerful men in our orbit and the misconduct that has persisted for decades without repercussion. This case proved that change is long overdue, and we will continue to fight on behalf of survivors. Two things that stood out to me: powerful men in our orbit and the misconduct that persists and change that is long overdue. Your thoughts?
Power and money. You can buy yourself out of a conviction. Let's be honest that if Sean Combs wasn't able to get the team that he got and pay for that defense team and experts and investigators to to help defend himself, that we would have had a different.
Big bro.
Yeah, I'm here. So
I'm still. Go ahead.
I feel like this, right? I feel like this. Something they was just saying. If Puff was a regular nigga, no bread, no notoriety, no fame, she wouldn't have stuck around that long. So how much is he to blame? Because if it was just some average Joe that whooped her ass or wanted her to do threesome, she would have been out. Let's be real about this shit. And I'm not taking away the domestic abuse, right? But would she had stayed that long if he wasn't who he was? You understand?
I'm thinking everybody would agree with that.
Because it was when one point that stood out to me during the whole trial was when her friend said she told her to leave him, and she said who I'm gonna go with, who I'm gonna go to. Jay-Z already married. That right there tells you her MO. She wanted the notoriety and the fucking fame at any cost. And again, how is she had to be given immunity because regardless of what, nobody said Puff paid them a dollar. Now he might have been naked with a Yankee hat on, but nobody ever said Puff gave them a single dollar. So if she paid everybody, where is her what's the word I'm looking for? Where's her accountability for what happened? You feel me? The shit wild, man. The shit wild to me, bro.
Bro,
Huh?
the way it just feels at this point is that they trying to get him some time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't get it if you know what I mean. If she done got paid and then she done wanted to relive all this, and I don't know really the subpoena thing is like if they call her, she gotta come.
Right.
So she had to relive this. Why she couldn't just get up there, man, I plead the fifth. I don't want to relive this no more. You know what I mean? And take her money and you
Her
know what I
30
mean?
and go. Right.
So
She made money off of this shit.
yeah. Hold on, man. It was another point that they had done got to, but the string getting kind of terrible because there's construction going on next door, and
Okay.
I can't stand these people right now. But yeah, bro, this is kind of one of them things that, like, my question is, what's Diddy's, like, what's am I using welcome? Like, what's his Like how what's his reception back into society? Cause I ain't gonna lie, bro. Martha
He got
Stewart,
supporters.
Trump, everybody, all these motherfuckers, that's white. Weinstein, like even his telling ass, he told on everybody. Like what's like how and what you think Puff gonna think of some of these motherfuckers that ain't like
If
ain't
I wouldn't
like
fuck
how
with him.
what you think Puff energy gonna be with niggas, bro?
I wouldn't fuck with him. I wouldn't. I simply wouldn't fuck with niggas, bro. Like real rap. Like everybody that turned their back on him.
Yeah,
If there wasn't a secret support group that, and he understood why niggas ain't publicly come out.
yeah,
Okay, okay, cool. But any nigga that said no Diddy and all that shit, man,
yeah.
even though that shit was funny, niggas
Yeah,
turned
it was,
pause into no
dog,
Diddy, right?
he one of them niggas that probably will be like, bro, I get it. On that right there, he'll be just like Dame was when the teeth fell out. Like I get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gonna get the butt. That one right there, I don't think it probably will be too, crazy with him. It depends on who probably used it and some shit like that. But niggas like
But
Charlemagne, like that, who like personally, I think he helped build them type of niggas by being accessible to them niggas and shit like that. Like
right,
that, them
right.
niggas like go overboard with the kind of the. But again, bro, like me and you stand on certain things when it comes to the the pedophile shit
Business,
and
yeah.
the beating women shit. So we definitely got to make sure that part of it, of
It's not
society
forgotten.
when he
Yeah,
come.
yeah, yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, what is his reinsertion into this shit gonna be? Like, what is the reception gonna be for Diddy coming back? Especially if he fucking around and hit the culture again, because he had just got what the Icon Award from BT and
Yeah, yeah.
all
All
kind of
types of
shit,
shit
bro.
he had just
So
received, right?
what's
Um,
like, damn,
so far as so this is the shit, right? Far as we go as a culture in the race, we are the worst because we'll forgive everybody else before we forgive our own,
mm,
right? Let, case in point, the song they played with Eminem calling black women nigga bitches and niggas and all he's saying all types of nigga, black bitches and whatever the case may be. Oh, he was young, it was this. He got all types of partners, right?
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
and that's somebody disrespecting your race from another race.
yeah.
I don't give a fuck about he from Detroit and he hang out with black people. I ain't give a fuck about none of that. How what they say? How a motherfucker, what a person says when they angry and they drunk is usually how they really feel.
Really feel.
So
I agree.
why can't like we'll always find a reason. Not saying he's totally right with anything, right? But we'll find a reason to hold it over our heads. I ain't fuck with that nigga. He whooped her ass. Oh, but in my I fuck with Eminem. He one of the coldest lyricists ever. Fuck, fuck. Oh, he said that when he was young. He didn't really mean that. He was mad. No, when you're mad is when you mean it the most.
Yeah, whatever Puff do when he get back out here, I don't even know. Did any numbers out ever come out? Cause lawyers for that shit wasn't no hundred, was it?
So federal cases are costly. The only reason, like when so they say they do it this shit to break niggas, right? Puff just had money. Puff was smart
That's
because
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying.
shit wasn't in
How
his
much you
name.
think that money? How much money you think Puff spent on this shit?
Bro, Brian's Brian Steele alone, Cochran, White Johnny alone was probably a bag. but they didn't call no expert witnesses. So their
but
cost was
again,
oh.
cause
But think
my
about it. When you call expert witnesses, they're paid. They called no one.
don't know, cause my whole thing is if Puffy worth, I don't even know if he at 250 or some shit right now still, or more. Or am I selling him short or not? But if a nigga got 250, 300. I know no 1 year of lawyers can't clear no bank account like that.
No, I don't think he
What them
spent.
law?
He, I'm, I like the not because lawyer fees. Lawyers can range, right?
Yeah.
And after still coming off a Thugger case, we don't know what he. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure it wasn't nothing short of shit. It might have cost him 10. We don't
Okay,
know.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Like
you got 250 and you just blow 10
you
on.
probably he probably got
Yeah.
the money. Like
Okay.
he'll probably never be back in the liquor business. Uh,
Yeah.
he might never even. Nah, man, niggas gonna fuck. Some niggas gonna still fuck with Puff when he come home, right? When he
Yeah,
come
cause
home,
Bad Boy still his, right? The label, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Sons, all
yeah.
that
It's
shit.
still
Like,
well,
all
his
right, so
son, yeah, yeah. It's still so. You might have some people that fuck with him. You might have some people that don't, right? But this is
bro, Martha fucking Stewart came back and built herself back the fuck up, bro.
but
Off the bruhs, off Snoop. You know what I'm saying?
Martha
So
Stewart
if
charge was
she could do
different.
that, he could do that.
No, again, we're our own worst critics against our own people, right? Let's see. So the key thing would be who, when he comes home, who stands next to him in
Yeah,
support,
yeah.
right? That's the key thing. Snoop stood next to Martha, right? But Martha charges was also different. Motherfuckers, Martha Stewart was what? Insider trading? Martha Stewart
I
did some
thought she
shit,
was with the fucking sweat houses and shit like that too.
bro. Everybody. So niggas don't give a fuck about that. Nike's the king of that, right? It was a documentary done around the times when Jordan got popular, my nigga, and they showed the conditions and how much motherfuckers made, and it didn't break a chink in Nike's armor,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's what
But
I'm
it
thinking right now with this lawyer shit with Puff. That's what I mean. Like
but
Puff,
again,
like
that's
here,
we're
man. There you
not
go.
we again we're Martha Stewart and Nike and all these other places are not black people.
Mm-mm.
We're the worst critics of our own people. You guilty than a motherfucker, whether you innocent or not. What a nigga say? Oh, that nigga probably did that shit.
Hmm.
Like all the shit that came out about him, all the everything that came out about him, right? Motherfuckers been saying shit about him for years.
Yep.
And it wasn't until he went against what? The liquor companies that all this shit started to tumble.
Wow.
Think about it. Like, let's be realistic. All this started to happen when he went up against DeLeon or Ciroc or whoever it was, right? So again, man, he stood solid. He ain't tell, and like you said, he ain't had to tell on nobody, right?
He ain't had to say nothing. He ain't had
That
to say, "Oh, okay." He was doing it too. He like all the memes and all the
yeah,
the pre shit was like oh Diddy finna have this nigga fucked up. Diddy finna have her fucked up. Diddy ain't say
right.
nothing. Had to say nothing
He,
to nobody. You know what I'm
he ain't
saying? Cause
say
Diddy
nothing to
like God
nobody
damn like what the fuck. I
because
know
he
Diddy was
stood
like damn boy I just had this motherfucker over here boy like God damn boy. So
right.
so that's why it's just to me in some of these instances, I want to see how Diddy like pull up and like get on the run of trying to rehabilitate
Trying to
his
rebuild that
image.
image. Yeah,
Cause
yeah,
he had
yeah.
done already like broke through a little bit with the, I was on drugs bad when I did that. I was in the bad state, like you know what I'm saying, and everybody kind of ate that up a little bit, Paul. But just know it was received by motherfuckers and shit. So he ain't get no real crazy backlash like for that he probably could have, like Ray Rice and motherfuckers like that who beat the lady up in the elevator.
His wife, right? His wife, and yeah, no, I get
Yeah,
what I get what you're saying, right? I get what you're saying, 1,000% on that. Um, I don't know though, bro. Like, it's hard to say. Again, I feel if 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 he come home and he put out a jingle, a lot of be forgiven, right? A lot will be forgiven, b.
not a
Like,
jingle.
if he put out a little jingle, a lot, a lot of be forgiven. Like, let's be realistic, and like, I'm I'm just like, and I'm like just watching it, bro. 50 Cent, one of the worst kind of niggas it is to me.
Yeah, dog. That nigga there one of the greenest niggas ever in life, dog. That nigga is green as fuck, dog. I ain't
But
gonna lie.
like you mad over your baby mother,
When he could have said that, he could have been said this shit. Like he could have
right?
been like,
We never knew why he
yeah,
was that bitter and mad, right?
he
Until it
could have
come out.
been, hey, he could have been out at this, bruh. But he waited till that nigga was down, like he was praying that this nigga was gonna
Was
be getting
going
fucked
down,
up.
right?
When anybody will tell you, brother, the worst thing you ever like, you don't wish jail on your worst enemy, my nigga.
And I put a post up yesterday. I said, damn, when it became cool to shit on niggas behind the wall,
Yeah, bruh. Like that's
right?
crazy to me, dog.
Jail and death, as they say. And these niggas, man, I done had issues with people, bro. Niggas, we done all had issues with people. Nigga ain't never missed with jail on a nigga or
Yeah.
death on a nigga,
Or death on a nigga, dog. And
right?
jail is
Bro,
worse
that
than
shit
death,
corny.
bruh. Jail is worse
Yeah,
than fucking death, especially when you got it. You know what I'm saying? And you know it, like the shit that they got for you ain't like worth what the fuck. Come on, man.
right,
And
right.
Puff help a
That
lot of people, bro. Like charity, all that
he
good shit,
did.
bro. No matter
He
what.
did.
Like
So
the
that
nigga,
but my my
that shit
thing,
crazy.
my thing
Sexual
with it was,
monster you are, Puff. You know you are a sexual
but
monster, nigga. If any of
but
that
but
shit is
guess
true,
what,
where they
bro?
that hey,
If
bruh.
listen, if that's look, I put it like this, right? I get it.
I don't
I
say
get it.
though, bruh. Like where we come from, dog. Do you think of it? Like I don't know no niggas who thought of shit like some of the shit that they saying this nigga was like
So so
playing with. I'm like, what?
I re, I remember watching
He
something,
would?
bro. I remember watching something, right? I remember watching
He,
something, and it just
he wanted to see
they just
another
went
nigga
in.
ram his lady. Man, you crazy, bro? What's going on, man? Where
But
you?
but guess what? That's a category on porn, on porn sites. What do you call it? Cuckold. Like, that nigga's
Yeah,
guilty of cuckold, which is on porn sites where
this
no
is
where
crazy.
nigga watching a nigga ramming his bra, right?
I just,
I never
yeah,
if that's a crime, then every porn website should be shut down. If that's a crime, right?
that's
Like, so
crazy.
all I'm saying is, a man's personal shit is his personal shit. Like, again, I was watching something where they went to, when a motherfucker obtained a certain amount of money and power, it's they almost purposely see how far they can go and get with shit. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
just to see how far they could go.
Like making a
And
nigga
he's
walk to the store to get some cheesecake.
making a nigga walk to get cheesecake, right? And what they do,
Hey,
they
y'all
did
gonna
it.
talk about just that, y'all. Motherfuckers done know this shit about Puff for a minute, boy. They still, boy, was like, hey, maybe I could be the
He
one to change them.
right. That's what they all think, right? So nigga said, yo, walk and get me some cheesecake. Which one of them
Cheesecake.
which one of them niggas said no?
No.
None of them.
With your
Not
mama
one nigga
watching, your
which
mama
nigga,
watching, your kids watching, all your partners watching.
your husband watching because the chick
Hey,
Sarah was married. And what you do? Walk and got cheesecake, rapping
Puff
and
used to,
talking shit.
hey, believe me, bro, they were probably getting Puff back for all that right there. Then, have you ever seen the movie Get Him to the Greek?
Yeah.
Bro, the way they had Puff acting with that Jeffrey. What
Yeah,
the fuck is a Jeffrey?
right. What
he
the fuck
said
is a
he said
Jeffrey?
that
Right,
he said that shit had so much shit in it. He was like, shit, who the fuck would be scared of a Jeffrey?
right.
So nigga
That
Puffy hit that bitch, nigga. Buffy was
and you
going crazy around that motherfucker.
yo, you know what else, bro, about this shit too? Like
Puffy
also
was
with
talking about mind fucking motherfuckers on there and all, dog.
but so
Dog,
come to find out that was like what his real life.
what? That shit is crazy, my
So
nigga.
he told you who he was, and nigga still ain't. But so again, let's go back. Let's go back to making the band, right? Let's go back prior to that. Let's go back to when
When
everybody
Big wore off, when Big Death wore off, and the actual
everything,
um
yeah,
Bad Boy Dynasty was kind of, like in the rear view at that point,
right,
music wise,
right, right,
cause he
and
started,
then
cause I remember vividly when, nigga, I told my lady the same story. Nigga, I used to listen to sports talk radio, and this chico named Dan Lebitard, he
Dan, I
real
know
famous
Dan, I
now.
know Dan,
That that
yeah, I remember
motherfucker been
Dan
on the radio
Levitard,
for years. So he one of the motherfuckers that famously reported the UN players for this Pell Grant scandal that they had back in the day. So they put him on probation. So
oh, that was
anyway,
him.
yeah.
Oh
So
shit.
he ended up kind of putting that out there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
Dan
damn, my
fucking
nigga.
Levitard.
Yeah, bro. It was kind of crazy, my nigga. Cause damn, my nigga, I lost my train of thought talking about Dan Lebatard. What we was talking about right before that?
Like just you said when the Bad Boy Dynasty, like when when he started going under a little bit.
Yeah. That was when during that time, like
You said big def, yeah, big def and all that shit wore off and everything, like you were saying.
I don't know why I went into Dan Lebatard, but I just know that, yeah, Dan Lebatard had this guy on there, and he was
Uh-huh.
asking what was the future of television, because sitcoms,
Okay.
all that shit was transitioning, and the dude was simply like, "What do you think of reality TV?" And he was like, "Just be prepared for that." And you seen what
Mm.
happened, bro. That shit just like took over every fucking
It
thing,
took over everywhere. Yes,
and
sir.
that making the band shit like showed everybody Puffy, like, you know what I'm saying, real life.
And he did it not once, but he did it multiple times, right?
Multiple times, kid.
Multiple times. And what
from
people do. I didn't watch the shit, but motherfuckers did what? Tuned in.
from
I watched the
marriage
first Making the Band.
Cause
That's
you
it.
wonder why him and Mary hated each other for a while. They were saying that Puff got the best music out of Mary, but at what price? You know what I'm saying?
And
What
what?
place Mary had
Yeah,
to be in, my nigga, to get that.
between Puff and
Get that music.
KC, right?
Exactly,
Between
dog.
Puff and KC, shit.
So
Mary made the best music under motherfucking Puffy and KC.
exactly. So Mary would be on 30 gin and tonics and straight slight nigga all coke and Puffy like, hey, hold on, Mary, it's time to go to the studio. Nah, I got to go see where
Right.
KC at. Nah, Mary, we got to go get this shit at the motherfucking studio. Nah, this nigga supposed to be downtown. Nah, I'm gonna go get that nigga. You go get to the studio. Okay,
You
Puff.
get that music. Right,
I'm
right.
telling you. She and that be hitting that slight. Puff probably telling whoever Gene Deal, green ass Gene Deal, stop by the
Number
project, get
one.
some of that yeah, I mean, get married to the yo, like,
Another
you know what I'm saying?
another sucker. Gene Deal. What's the other boy name that he had on the payroll? And
Gene Deal just the
he's
greenest nigga, bro. I can't wait. This is one of them
but
instances
the other
I
dude
wish
though,
Puffy could just say something back to a bitch ass nigga, dog. Cause the
I
niggas
feel
that
you.
these niggas didn't make as rich as they thought they should make them.
They gonna
They
get
be
right.
bro. They be the bitterest niggas around, my nigga. I be like, what the fuck is you niggas doing?
What you
Like,
tell him why
what you
you
mad
mad
that the
for
nigga
real.
wasn't like letting you suck his dick? Like, what the fuck? You ain't make no money round Puffy.
So
So,
my issue with shit like Gene Deal and the other dude, I, oh, what's this nigga name? I think he live down there by y'all now. The one that was like, he asked Puff for bail money for his son or a lawyer, and Puff wouldn't give him the money, and
to
then
my
he
chopper.
I don't know. Nah, it ain't a rapper. He was like on Puff security or something, or he used to be with Puff certain places. And
Oh,
I
oh,
can't remember son name. He see he died off. He died off. Like he did some old like he was on the payroll and he asked Puff for bail money for his son, and Puff basically told him no. And
not the
then
block
when Puff,
ENT nigga.
I don't know if that's him, but somebody's
Cause
son was in
block
jail.
from ATL.
Nah. This dude, I don't know if he was from Don know his name. Don, we had to get in touch with Don. Don knows son name. But
Okay.
but like stuff like that and Gene Deal, yeah, bruh. No. So fifth, like so you riding with 50 Cent over, man, listen. My thing is
Uh,
this: if you had morals and principles, where was the morals and principles when you was on the payroll?
exactly. When he was kicking her ass and doing all this sucker shit,
Where the morality at then? Where the
you
principles
stayed
at
and
then?
made that money. That's what your ass did.
Right. You stayed there. You still, oh yeah, I remember Wolf. Wolf might have been his son, baby mother. Puff might have had Wolf killed. Did it like yo, where was all of this when you was on payroll, Dunny?
At all.
That be
Yeah,
the
yeah.
man, that be the
He,
corniest shit, bro.
he quick to try to throw Puppy under the bus about
Yeah.
Cassie.
Everything.
I wonder how many times he probably looked at Cassie naked
Right.
and or probably even probably done slept with her or some shit like that.
Where
Uh,
was you
In
at
some of them
when
vulnerable moments and shit. You know what I'm
when
saying? You ain't
old
call her
girls when
parents and get her to her parents or sneak her out of there, none of that shit. You ain't do
nothing. You
none of
ain't
that.
do none of that, right? Where was you at on the plane when they say he whooped her ass on the plane and nobody did nothing?
Nobody did shit.
Everybody mind they fucking business. They said the whole plane mind they fucking business. Where were you?
And like
Where
I
was your
said,
morals?
he more bitter than Cassie. He like he took some
Sound
ass
like it,
whoopings
right?
too. He like Puppy had him walking to the store for some cheesecake.
Let him tell it. They used to, oh, I was part of this crew, and we used Puff. He was the youngest out the crew, and he was our young boy, and blah blah. Yeah, cool. And what happened? He employed you, nigga. These niggas be killing me, man.
Man, the way financially, I don't think this hurt Puff.
Financially,
At
nah.
this stage, I think Lil Puff should be. If I was Lil Puff, I'd have me a podcast right now.
But oh, King Kong. Now I heard him, and I heard he did it. He dropped the album, and yeah, he did all the beats. Somebody said, and they said, the shit ain't bad.
Well, that's
King
what he need to be
Combs.
on right now. I'll be going everywhere telling this story. The book
Oh
coming
yeah, he
out
just put
soon. Daddy, we finna make us another couple of few million. When you get home, your shit gonna
it's
be
seven,
straight. You know what I'm saying?
it's
All
seven
that, like,
songs. Yeah, he got 7 songs.
oh, so that's why
Yeah,
Ye
they put out
showed up.
7 songs. Yeah, that's
So that's
probably
why
why
Ye
Ye
showed
showed
up
up.
on. Ye showed up and like, Puff, I got you. And again,
Yeah,
pedophilia,
who?
Puffy, you
No
get
rats, no rape.
no support.
But it was no
Pedophilia,
proof of
Puffy, you
that.
gets no support. No,
It
I had
was
to
no
make this
proof of that.
clear because
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I had to
yeah.
make this clear because with me and my lady, we kind of had these conversations, and I want to make it
Okay.
clear when it comes to that
Yeah, we don't
pedophilia.
no
It
rats, no
gets
rapists,
no
no pedophiles. We don't do
exactly.
that around these parts. We don't do that around
So
these parts. Ain't nothing.
puppy
That's
will
my
get no
campaign.
support.
That's my campaign for my podcast. Listen, you don't get no interviews off of none of that. Ain't nothing to talk about. If you ain't stand
Nothing.
tall and take your time, what are we talking about? If
What we
you
talking
if
about?
you touched if you took it from a kid or fucked up a kid's life or a woman, what are we talking about? There's nothing you could ever say to me that justifies what you did. Never.
Main main thing is that when I just go back to what's his insertion gonna be like when it comes
When you get home.
to him. Yeah, to when he started to get the itch to brand again. Like what's them relationships like? Like are them niggas gonna start coming from up on the rocks again? They ain't talking about just like niggas. I'm talking about the brand ambassadors and the motherfuckers that ducked off when he got fucked up and all that. The jokey joke
So
motherfuckers who he helped make their platforms, ring. Like one person that
yeah.
I don't think under any circumstances went in on Puff was Nori. Everybody else they did what they did. But Nori probably the only
Okay.
nigga that when it came to talking about Puff, it was kind of like, man, let's see where this shit play out at. You feel me?
Let's see what play out. Right. A
Yeah.
lot. So I think it'll so if people support him, a lot of people support him, it'll be in secret.
Cause the comedians,
Right.
you expect the comedians like that. That's one them people
You
that'll
expect the
exonerate from it.
comedians.
You expect the comedians to kind of get the what they gonna get when it comes to that. But everybody else, when it comes to the motherfuckers that he been sliding around with for years, that like some of these niggas, you thought they was somewhere else and they end up being with Puffy. You be like, oh, okay, that nigga,
Hmm.
boy, I was wondering what that nigga was doing. Okay, running around with Puffy, he probably still doing some shit.
Shit,
So
and a lot of niggas will puff their career too.
yeah,
I mean, French Montana had a little buzz. He ain't blow till he signed the Bad Boys.
telling you, we're gonna
A lot of niggas don't
ride to the top.
like.
Anastasia, me and Frenchie. Hey, boy, hey, that's one of the ones, boy. Hey, come on, dog. Shout out French Montana, man. But yeah, bro,
But
this
that's
this
what
is
I'm
one of the,
saying. So if they
Go ahead, go ahead.
support him, bro, it'll be very secretly. If they support him, right? It'll be very secretly. Um, but if you're gonna support somebody, support somebody. I'm not, and so I was always told, people ain't gonna support people. People, certain people ain't gonna support you in public, is because how they talked about you in private. You feel me?
Yeah.
Now we gonna see people,
Who was
the
the last
motherfuckers
person
who
Puff
ain't
signed? Red Cafe was
shit.
the last person that Puff signed?
I ain't even know Cafe was signed to Bad Boy.
Yeah. I know Puff
Um,
gave Red Cafe a bag a little few years ago. Get
Cat
rich
well,
to this,
Cafe
get
had a
rich to
few
this, get
deals.
rich to this. Huh? Let's talk more hustle. Yeah, that boy,
Uh,
hey, yeah, they put together, yeah.
shit. Nah, that I know of,
He
it
got
had
some
to be
shit with
French
Benny
then.
on that shit.
But it probably the last person he's Puff probably signed the Bad Boy probably had to be Montana.
It- oh, hold on, man. Let me look, bro. If you got your shit in front of you, bro, see if he signed Montana before he signed Red Cafe. Cause I think he signed Red Cafe like the last motherfucker.
Let me see. Let's finish Montana.
You know, bro,
Sign.
with him beating this shit and like I'm trying to see how they finna treat him now. Like if they gonna treat him like they know he finna just go do this time and come back
Montana
and
Montana was signed into the end of 2011, December 2011.
and I think this is on Red Cafe little comeback tour.
Shit, I ain't even know Cafe had shit.
Yeah, you gotta listen to that one. He actually got Montana on there. I think. Yeah, he got his
Yeah,
shit on there.
Montana was 2011.
Hold on. Oh, he signed in 2009. So
Yeah, so
it was
Montana
Fresh
was
was
the
the
last
last one.
one. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
His album came
shit.
out 2013.
Mr. Lecture was hood. I put the link in the group chat, kid. Yeah, Puffy done. You want to go ahead and tell Mr. Lecture who got Puff off? Pause.
Oh, motherfucking White Cochran.
White Cochran
Brian
done got.
Steele. That's his name. Brian Steele is
Yeah.
motherfucking White Johnny Cochran, B.
Motherfucking Whitey Cochran.
If it don't fit, nigga, you must have quit.
Hey. So what I mean, they was talking about Puff giving up. How like so again, bro, when I'm thinking them talking about giving up houses and shit, what's Puff houses worth? Like maybe 4 a piece or 7 a
He,
piece?
man,
So
shit. His one on Star Island, you know that shit in the 20 range. Cause you know ain't no cheap houses on Star Island, Millionaires Row.
did they mention that house?
Yeah, that was the house he was trying to get parole to. I
Well,
mean,
I don't even think that they
that's the
mentioned that as one of the houses
oh no,
that would be up for sale. That's what I'm saying. Like they
oh
were
they
talking about
man.
the
So
one in
up for
Cali and the one in New York.
you ain't proved no RICO, so you can't take the man property.
No, I'm
The
just
only
trying to
thing,
make sure. I'm trying to see what Puff was working with. Like I just want to know if this was like a slap on the wrist for Puff financially, or it was like a dent. Because
bro,
cause
think
I
about
wanted
think of
I prefer
I
it to
can't
be a
see a
dent.
dent. I can't see a dent. Bro,
Yeah, exactly. I
think of
prefer it to be like a slap on the wrist because of what what I'm saying. I'm like how I'm thinking
think
of
of bad
Puff, like money
think of
wise.
bad
So
boy record. Think of bad boy records. Let's think about let's think about all the money this man made off of everybody, right? In the last 20 something years, all the money he made off of Big, Mace, The
yeah,
Locks,
exactly. That's what I'm
Black
thinking, bro.
Rob,
Like I don't want it to be
Lil
like a
Kim,
dent for Puff, bro. Cause they talking about taking
Junior
houses.
Mafia. How can you can't take his houses because there's no RICO proof. Like that nigga was willing to put up shit for to come home as bail
Mm.
that they wouldn't accept. So they can't take shit because there's no RICO.
So yeah, but y'all think we think all think I hope Puff done with the legal part of it. Like you think Puff gonna try to sue somebody?
For what? He won.
Exactly. Like cause defamation of character. Cause they took
I
him through some
wouldn't,
shit, bro. Like some of these people,
bro,
bro. Like yeah, my nigga.
bro, they
'Cause even the kid cut it,
they
like them
going
bringing the
to.
kid Cudi shit up, bro. Like where the fuck did that come from? Like where did that kid Cudi shit come
Cassie,
from?
Cassie, bro. Cassie said all that. Cassie said that. So when she said that, oh, what we do, we bring them up. I'm just I'm just glad like a nigga like Farnsworth Bentley ain't pop up, right? On some and nah, like
But they had
and I'm
random
talking brick,
Farnsworth Bentleys popping up, big bro. That's what I'm saying. They had a Chico that
but
they caught for a
so
murder that was going crazy. They had this man butt naked with the crazy jacket on, and the man was answering questions talking about how he had done ripped Puffy and his lady too. This boy, we got you for a murder, man. And they bringing
so
him up in the courtroom, bro.
right, but that's what's but shit like that is gonna happen. The broad from Dirty Money, right? Who testified, oh, he whooped her ass, he whooped her ass, he whooped her ass, he's a monster. I had to get out of there. But they bring up a motherfucking letter, I mean, emails and texts. Oh, hey, when we gonna put the band back together? Let's do another album. Fuck you wanna do
Look,
an album with a monster for? You understand?
yeah, they know where that money at. Then on top of that, it's a potential to set them up. That's like with the R. Kelly shit, my nigga. Like you know what bringing them your teenage daughter's gonna be around, and no matter how talented she is, you know what this man known for, and you still gonna bring your child around that man.
Because they
So
knew
you
what they were
are
doing.
exactly you are just as responsible for that. Like they
Bro,
are.
look, Michael Jackson never fully recovered. And the motherfucker said he lied. But what was the jacket put on Michael Jackson?
That he slept with
A
kids,
pedo, right?
straight up.
And the nigga said he lied.
Nigga
My
was like,
mother made me say that, and that man died with a fucking nasty jacket on.
all I tell you is when it comes to some of these grown people, I would never like. I don't. Again, bro. Like I sympathize. Like like I said, some of these conversations be based on some conversations me and my lady be having. So when I mention her,
Yeah,
that's why. I be wanting her to know, like I empathize, sympathize, whichever is the stronger, meaningful word
right.
for to let her
Yeah,
know that I understand when it comes to the victims. I just don't understand the behavior of the victims after they victimized and then they realize that they can get out of the situation, and they do not make
And
that
they
move.
don't.
And then when it come down to it, all that makes it better is some money.
Yeah. But
You
because,
know what I
bro,
mean? And then when they
so
get the money, they
my
still want a dog pile.
yeah, so you still want, so again with the civil case, right? How does money make up for the mental anguish and pain that you allegedly suffering from? No, bitch, you broke because you married a fucking personal trainer and you got 3 fucking kids by the nigga. No, you fucking broke, right? You broke. Ain't a lot of people don't know she tried to put out an album around that time.
Hey, and once again, bro, victim wise, we understand, but the facts that you just don't go on with your life, and you want to be a part of this, it make people want to scrutinize your angle after that. You know, like, are y'all still dealing with each other? Like, are you still bitter, even though you got, you know what I mean, your just due, because that's what you settled for and all that there. And what's the after that? Again, bro, sometimes I don't get why when they came to, oh, y'all want me to talk against him? Man, I don't want to relive that shit. I'm pregnant, I'm married, I'm this and that.
Right.
I plead the fifth.
Oh,
But nah, you want to go put on the
I'm
show.
pregnant. You went and put on the show 8 9 months pregnant, and then when the cross examination come, you stressed out. If you stress, you should be stressed regardless. But you shouldn't be stressed at all. You just came up off 30 M's
30 M's, kid.
2 years ago.
Says you that would
And yeah,
says
so
you that
that
would, you know what I mean,
right.
rest the situation that y'all had together.
Hmm. Yeah. So,
So,
bro, that's what I'm saying, man. Like whatever. Yeah, so again, we understand, right? We all saw he whooped her ass, right? That's what
mm,
he that's what he would have been guilty for if they would have charged him for domestic violence.
facts.
My thing is this: certain things she said, she wasn't. She sacrificed her life for money and fame. That bitch tried to make a comeback in 2021. That shit failed terribly. You pregnant with 3 kids, and you married a personal trainer. What other way to get a couple dollars to take care of your family now? Oh, yo, I'll release this if you don't pay me. Okay, boom. Now y'all bring this up. That was probably her husband ploy. Because if that was the case, why you didn't do that? Why you didn't do that when you left?
Why you didn't do that when you
Because you
left?
was still fucking him. Oh, it's
And
her
again,
husband is
that
probably her husband had to sit here and go through all this. He knew who the fuck he was with. Because he was
the
fucking with her while she was still fucking Puff. Come on, man.
and the thing is that when you as young as she was, you kind of know how that misty eyed little girl type vibe be. So we get it. But once
Yeah.
again, it's like
You was with the man
like
11 fucking years,
yeah,
right? You was
he
with the man
was
11
who he
fucking
was
years.
for a long time.
Right.
You would like you was around him for a long time. And for me, just being around a nigga with that much paper and influence and outlets for you to get bread and just Diddy, nigga, get the flip out of there.
Yeah.
Bro, why ain't
Yeah.
nobody saved no money like that around Puff and just got the fuck from around that nigga? Ain't no stories
Because,
of that from
bro,
around Puff.
Uh,
Who's the most
don't seem
successful
like
person
any.
that got from Round Puff that I mean, we could say artists, but we kind of know the ones and shit like publicly that wasn't like wouldn't say that they were victimized type shit. But
Well, Lock, you got Locks, you got Mace, Black Rob, G Dep. G Dep came to
yeah,
support him.
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think all them niggas had like they just do like with put like the reason that who they was kind of who they was always gonna be. I don't think Black Rob would have been as bigger than Black Rob ever was. I thought that's who he was.
Yeah,
G Dep
yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
I
I
don't
agree
think
with
them
that.
niggas like. I thought them niggas was them niggas. But niggas like
Right,
Jada, of
right, I get
course,
you.
like he was going to sin regardless, Puff or nobody.
The Locks,
You know,
yeah.
the nigga, the actual niggas was gonna be stars, bro, regardless of Puff. But the other niggas who was around, I'm talking, circle wise too, that we probably don't
You
mention
took
all the time and
so
shit like that.
right, none of bro, like so
Cause even
none of them, right?
Farnsworth Bentley,
So
nigga, he
what
started
happened?
doing little goofy ass movies and appearances and shit
Even
like
who?
that. So Farnsworth. Farnsworth ain't come out and shit on
Oh,
Puff or no
Bentley.
shit like that.
Hell no, because Farnsworth probably did what he was supposed to do with that bread.
Telling you.
So
Brandon,
it's not it's not my fault if you sign a fucked up deal. And because you're allowed lawyers, right? You're allowed
mm-hmm.
lawyers and you're allowed, oh, like, oh, I signed a fucked up deal. You signed a fucked up deal. You right. You supposed to take that shit to attorney. Yo, what's up? What this look like? Yeah, no, maybe so. All right, boom. But you got some motherfuckers that take it to the lawyer. Like you can't you can't play victim when you allowed yourself to be victimized.
And go knock that
That's how
shit down, bro. Go knock that shit out,
right?
bro. You got work to do, bro. If you know you want to get out of there, you got work to do. Did you sign that shit? Man, go knock them projects
Yeah.
out and get you some side money. However you is use that
How
nigga
you ever
name to
got
hustle
yeah
up. Use come on,
the
bro. It's
hustle up
niggas that
money?
done did it.
You
It's
bro, you
niggas
know
that
how
done did
much
it.
money? Think of this, right? You signed the Bad Boy Records. You know how many walkthroughs and club dates you can
Thank you.
do?
Thank you.
Like
Just with that
I,
brand. Just with them putting it on the
just
flyer.
oh, yo, guess who in the building tonight? Bad boy artist so and so. Whether you flop or not, nigga.
Like they
Just the
like that.
thought of who else gonna come with you? Like it's one of them. Like yo, oh shit, so and so gonna be there. I wonder if so and so coming with him. So guess what? We gonna pop out.
And that's like it hit me with one of the Hitman most famous lines. I don't want to fuck it up. When that nigga came in that bitch with the rollie on after the Wild and Out shit and told them boys, hey, if this watch worth 30,000, how I ain't worth 50 or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that brand in the building, bro. You know what I mean? You gonna get that there. So that's kind of the way I'm thinking of them cats like that, like Gene Deal, them types of motherfuckers. At this point, you supposed to be getting your money telling raw Puff stories. You
Not
on
ratting them,
record of
not
being
snitching on them.
like a hurt hoe, my nigga behind Puff, bruh.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
And you
your man selling documentaries to motherfucking TMZ. Did he do it? Come on, man. That's the most suckerish shit ever, B. That's the most like yo. I don't give any nigga who support 50 Cent, bro, on shit like that, bro. To me, is I'm gonna use your term as a green ass nigga.
was a great, yeah, bruh. And again, he's a funny nigga. Like how y'all you New York cats like you's a funny nigga, son. You's a
Funny style,
funny
yeah.
nigga,
Nigga's
son.
funny
Yeah, you's a
style, yeah.
funny
He's
nigga,
funny.
son. So that like okay, but once again, I love when niggas stand up to niggas. Like when Ja do his little ones and twos every once in a while, I love to see Ja stand up. So
Yeah.
this is one of them times that I'm wishing that the hip hop gods give us Puff getting out of jail, like putting a bag behind him, a young nigga, and just say, man, go, man. Go. Like get you one of these young niggas, give him like a real bag, my nigga, and make sure he a pit bull for you. And man, I'll be sick of my young niggas on that nigga, man. For
Mm-hmm.
real. Puffy need to go to the streets and just be like, man, shit, hey, I don't want nothing to do with no fuck shit. But the hardest young nigga in these streets, I got you. Big bag, let's
Right.
go. And man, fuck these niggas, bruh. Niggas play with my name, and I'm gonna play with y'all names now with in this music shit, nigga, with these young niggas.
Mm-hmm.
But ain't
Mm-hmm.
none of these niggas really got it like them type of thoughts when it comes to 50, bro. All of them kind of tuck tail when it comes to bro, man.
They took tail, right?
Yeah, they tuck tail when it comes to 50, bro. The only nigga
I
game,
agree 1,000%.
and even
Game and
Fat
job,
Joe and
regardless
everybody.
of what.
Yep.
Well, him
Only
and
one
Fat
is
Joe is
Fat
best
Joe
friends
and all them
forever right
niggas.
now.
Yeah, them niggas all kind of friendly with that nigga now, bro. Even though he got that MJ to him, to where he taking your ass to dinner the night before, but the game tomorrow, bitch, I'm finna cut your throat, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I seen that weirdo ass interview he did with Cam when he
Oh,
was trying
Fifth?
to, yeah, when he was setting it up, uh, for Jimmy and Jewels to come to the concert to piss Cam off and shit,
Oh,
so Cam
yeah,
could see
yeah.
it. Bruh, that's some snake ass shit,
But
bruh.
don't forget, J Hood and Remy did the same shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Niggas don't
yeah,
remember Remy did the same shit. J Hood did the same shit.
yeah.
Did the exact same shit.
Well, yeah,
Right? So
man.
man,
The these
it's it's crazy, bro.
it's been a dope day, man. I ain't gonna lie. Not only for Puff, you know what I'm saying, doing his dollar against the feds in the state, but just the fact that we got a chance to see all types of aspects of the judicial system work for and against somebody that we kind of, you know what I'm saying, was pulling for or not, and we kind of seen how the state and feds play and what they are
Mm-hmm.
capable of doing when it comes to neutralizing your fucking life, you know, if they feel like you got something illegal going on. But we finna get back to it probably a little later this evening, man. I'm actually gonna cut this one here so we can kind of get on a little later, see if we can get the panel together tonight. I got some shit
Okay.
that we need to catch up on. But this one here turned into big homie talk with the big homie. So let them
For
know
sure.
what it be this week, man. And give us an update from last
Oh no,
week too, bit bro.
I'm taking a weekend off, holiday weekend. I'm enjoying it.
Say less.
So there'll be no show this Saturday coming up. But last week, I actually interviewed two dudes who was fresh home like a month.
Okay.
The last episode, I interviewed a couple dudes fresh home on a month, and one dude talked on the aspect of having two parents at home and still being outside
Still being outside.
because because sometimes it's that misperception that is a single family home is a broken home, is this, is that, and the third. Um, so he's and he talking intelligent with it.
Ah,
Choose his words correctly, everything, bro. still outside, and they just show you how. And you know, I asked them, when did your mind change for that mentality when you come home with now you pushing peace? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Say
so
less.
it was a very dope episode. When I come back on the 12th, July 12th, um I gotta do, I call him Doc Rodriguez, because his name is Jason Rodriguez, and at 17 he wound up doing 17 years.
Whoa.
So when he came home, he was 34, right? Lost, you know, lost his parents and everything while behind the wall and everything, and or one of his parents, I don't remember, but we're doing the update because now he has a doctorate degree.
Okay.
So right, so a nigga could never say there's nothing for him. He has a doctorate degree. He's he's boots on the ground. He worked with the Furtado brothers and everything.
Salute.
So that's who I got coming up next. But other than that, man, everything is everything, man. And just pushing it forward, bro, and just trying to continue the mission, and working on a couple other people to get their story out.
Real niggas do real things, man.
Yes,
Well, y'all
sir.
will be seeing us streaming a little later, man. And
Yeah,
MarleyWorldwide.com, man, for that merch. My big bro got some new merch out. No rats, no pedophile, no rapists.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. T-shirts out right now. Holla at me, lap_system on IG. Holla at me, and we'll work it out if you trying to get one. You know.
Well, we going to do it like this, man. Say la. Like them Zoos say la. And big blessings. Y'all be safe on this holiday weekend. I know we going to have some fun. My baby coming home. My daughter be down here.
Okay.
See if we get us a little barbecue going on and some good food. And once again, man, this has been the Bar Breakers panel. Diddy beat that shit. Y'all let us know what y'all think of it. Subscribe, share, comment. Most of all, like on YouTube. Bar Breakers panel with Big Shake. Big blessings. We out here.
Peace.